Hello, hello, hello. I'm Teresa Romaine, and I welcome you to this first of a series I plan to do for as long as it serves, called Anchored in Abundance. What I'd like you to do right now, because it's a time in our world where we need to practice this regularly, and it will give up people an opportunity to hop on live, is to simply stop whatever you're doing right now and just take a long, slow, deep breath. Just really take a moment in the midst of the chaos and the uncertainty, the fear, the loss, the everything that's going on in our world right now. I invite you to just take a long, slow, deep breath right now. In a world where it seems like there's so little we can control and it seems like so many things are out of control, we get to control this moment in the sense of how we choose to respond to it. You can, you can take a long, slow, deep breath right now. Welcome, Mary. I invite you to just take a long, slow, deep breath as people are gathering. You really can take that long, slow, deep breath. And then you can take another one. And as I begin to talk and share with you what I have to share with you here today, I just invite you to use this time to focus on breathing in a very full rhythmic manner. Just inhaling through your nose and just exhaling fully from your mouth. Because breathing is something we can only do moment by moment. We cannot inhale enough oxygen for the rest of this week. We can only do it moment by moment. And my friends, that's how we together will get through what's happening in our world now. Moment by moment. The moment we leave this moment, and I'm as guilty of it as others, and go off wondering about what's going to happen and how we're going to survive and will we make enough money and will our family stay healthy and all of that, that's when we leave the moment, and that's when fear can enter in. And with fear, with fear comes scarcity. That fear of not having enough, that fear of not being safe enough, that fear of not doing enough, that fear of, and the purpose of this series is to support you and me, I include myself, to navigate an unprecedented time, a time like none of us have ever experienced, in a way rooted in faith, rooted in abundance instead of fear, rooted in love in a way that empowers us. And we can only do that one moment at a time. Welcome, Nika. I'm glad you can join. So just again, take a long, slow, full, deep breath. And in that, note your abundance because you are here. You are able to breathe. You are able to breathe in that oxygen that gives you life right now. And I was raised in the Christian tradition, and so I'm going to reference that throughout this series. However, when I speak in a Christian tradition of a God using the stories of Christianity, I also believe that the God who created this abundant universe and world we live in, the God that created all the unique human beings that are part of this world, will uniquely show up, express himself or herself to people in different ways. So while that's the tradition I'm most familiar with and I have stories to call upon, I invite you to use whatever name resonates with you for the one who created this world, for the source of life, for the one that created the oxygen and the lungs that are breathing it with. All I know is that whatever name you give it, that God, that being, that source is always love. Unconditional, totally accepting, freely given love. And so sometimes I just use love with a capital L, or source of love, to describe this God. So, are you breathing? Let me see a yes if you're breathing there, Mary and Nika, or a thumbs up. I'm seeing some thumbs up going up. Alrighty, so I had thought I was going to talk about one thing today, and just before I hopped on, I got another thing. So a couple of foundational pieces. Anchored in abundance. I chose that name. In this COVID-19 pandemic, where this virus is running rampant and growing exponentially, and it is going to have an impact on every aspect of our lives. It already is, including economically, and for us both collectively and individually, financially. And what I know happened then is that sense of scarcity that can create fear only creates more fear and more scarcity. And so I'm creating this series to support you to respond to what is happening, because it is from a different place, from a place of abundance, of faith in abundance. Now, you might go like, what? How can I live in abundance in this world where there is and going to be scarcity? Well, because you have to know my definition of abundance, and it's being challenged in this world. I'll be the first to admit, but it was given to me in a divine download last year. So please keep this in mind as we're talking about being anchored in abundance. Abundance is knowing. And I don't just mean in your head. I mean knowing it in your gut, in your core, in your bones. That you and I both, we are part of something bigger than us. And that something bigger than us is more loving, more powerful, more creative, more generous, more resourceful, eternal than us. Now, I use the name God for that, but we're part of something bigger than us. Call it universe, call it life force, call it whatever. And that something bigger than us, the divine, is also part of us. So everything that God, that divine, that universe is, we have access to. And so the second part of my definition of abundance is we have access to all that we need. And I'm clear. Right now, given what's going on, what do you mean we have access to all that we need? That's going to be challenged. And I don't have all the answers, and I'm in conversation with God. Like, well, if we're not going to have enough ventilators, how do we have access to all that we need? And we'll probably delve into what that means in these conversations. But all I know is that I want to share with you right now is the place we can access what we need is in this moment, which is why I'm asking you to continue to breathe. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Susie. Hey, Carissa. Just return to your breath moment by moment. We are going to get through this one moment at a time. We can only choose to respond to that abundance, that belief, that knowing that we are part of something bigger than us. One moment at a time, one breath at a time. And whatever we need, it can only be provided to us in that moment. And yeah, sometimes what we think we need, I'm clear, is maybe not what we need. This morning in my meditation, I was questioning this, and I was reminded of being on a river, a long river in a boat or a canoe. When you're on the river, you cannot see the entire river. You cannot even see where the river's going. All you can see is the section of the river that you are in. And all you can do is navigate around islands or rocks or whatever in the section of the river that you're in. Now, an eagle, a plane, a satellite, or the divine, from a higher perspective, can see the entire river and can see you and me in our boats in our section of the river. And so I don't know where the river's leading. I want to support us to navigate this section of the river from a place of love, empowerment, and abundance, including and especially in terms of our money and our finances. You may not know this about me. I was born on October 18th, 1962. If you're a history buff, you will recognize that I was born in the heart of the Cuban Missile Crisis. An equally, I'm sure, terrifying time in America, in the world. There was the real threat that we were going to blow ourselves up. So here I come in a little baby, and just a few days after I was born, I am now awash in an energy of fear from the adults and the world around me. And babies are sensitive to energy. And okay, so I understand fear. I know fear in my bones. I got that one early on. But what I've also gotten about myself as I've matured and with guidance is that I came in here to this world. Part of my soul's purpose is to tell you, to remind you that we don't have to be afraid. I've had my hands analyzed by Pamela Landers. She does scientific hand analysis that if you think of personality profiling, it's that on steroids because it's physically in your hands and what your fingerprints mean. And your fingerprints were formed in utero, and you can get a sense of what your life purpose and what your life lesson is. And one of the markings in my hands is that of School of Peace. It's in my hands that I'm designed to help people connect and find peace in the midst of fear and chaos. Now, these Monday sessions are not just going to be about having you feel good. We need to be practical. How do we navigate these times, especially with our money? And so we will be going there. But on this first one, I wanted to give you these few messages to remind you what abundance is. It's the knowing you're part of something bigger. This beautiful river that has been going on long before you arrived on and will continue long after. That something bigger is ultimately love. That something bigger is also in each of us, so we are at our core love it, and we can choose to respond in this situation from a place to love if we are courageous enough, if we are reminded enough, if we support each other enough. And as scary as it may seem, if we go back moment by moment by moment to remembering this, we can choose. Yes, we have to claim the fear. It's not about putting a happy face on. We have to claim it when we're feeling afraid so it doesn't get bottlenecked in here. But when we can claim it and then choose, even if we don't know how, to live and act from a place of faith in abundance. As I said, I grew up in the Christian tradition. And if you've grown up in any religious tradition or Christian tradition, this is a time where our faith becomes real. As I said, as a client of mine said many years ago, it's so easy to feel abundant and think abundantly when things are going well. But when the shit hits the fan, part of my expression, oh my gosh, it's the thing. It's so easy to believe in a God of love and abundance and all of that when our lives are going pretty good. But when they're falling apart, this is the ripe soil of faith. And that, my friends, is what I want for you. I want for us. I want to support you with. I want to support the world with in whatever way I can, support you to support the world in it, because together, moment by moment by moment, not only can we make it through these challenging times, but we can use these challenging times to learn, to grow, and come from them creating something better. Now, speaking of which, every time we do this, we're going to end in a very specific way. First of all, I'm going to invite you. I see some more people have joined. Welcome. I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. And again, take some breaths and just feel that breath flowing through you, and allow that rhythm of your breathing to help you, connect with your heart, connect and be more present in this moment. And then inhale this life force, this love force. Every time you exhale, I want you to hit my microphone. Every time you exhale, I want you to send love and life force energy out into the world. So together, let us breathe it in from the source of love and life. And then let's exhale it out into the world, sending love and prayers and courage and strength to everyone who needs it, which is everyone. Receiving it for ourselves from the source and sending it out into the world. Breathing it in and sending it out. And whenever today, just today, you might start to feel crazy or scared or tense, then practice this again. Just stop, take a breath, say yes to the love, the life, the guidance, the support that this something bigger we call God is giving you in this moment. And then send it out into the world to others. I thank you for joining me today. I invite, please, if you found this valuable, please share it with your friends so we can create a community here who's committed to supporting each other to stay anchored in the truth of abundance. It is the pattern of the universe. And right now on our section of the river, it might be a little harder to see it. And then I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Love to you all. Stay safe, be well, and many, many blessings.